All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you that your daily cup of coffee, that thing you do every morning, is actually one of the most powerful investments you can make for your brain's long-term health? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But today, we're going to dig into the science that shows it might just be the secret to protecting your brain for life.
So, here's the big question, right? Could that simple cup of coffee, you're maybe even holding right now, be one of the best things you do for your brain's future? Well, a whole lot of research is pointing to a big, loud yes. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how and why.
Okay, but before we get to the good news, and trust me, it is good news, we need to understand just how big the problem is that we're talking about. We're looking at neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and they're quickly becoming this silent global epidemic. You see, as we all live longer, which is great, we're also seeing these issues just skyrocket. Something that used to be pretty rare in a country like India is now one of the fastest growing health crises they face. And the scary part? As the population continues to age, these numbers are only going to go up. And look, the human cost here is it's devastating. We're not just talking about forgetting where you put your keys. No, this is a total, fundamental breakdown of brain function. It can make the most basic daily tasks completely impossible, and it can lead to a complete loss of independence. But what if one of the most powerful weapons against this was sitting right there on your kitchen counter? I mean, right now. This is where the story takes a turn, where we pivot from this massive problem to a really unexpected hero. Coffee. And get this. This isn't just some nice idea or a hopeful theory. We're talking about extensive research that's looked into the hundreds of active compounds packed into every single cup, and they all point to the exact same conclusion. Coffee is one of the most effective and, frankly, most accessible weapons we have in this fight. So, okay, how does this actually work? I mean, how can a simple drink have such a huge, profound impact on our brains? Well, let's dive into the fascinating science that's happening inside that coffee cup of yours. Okay, I want you to think of the stuff inside coffee as like a superhero team for your brain. Now, we all know the big one, right? Caffeine. But it doesn't work alone. It's got this whole squad of powerful antioxidants, things like polyphenols and chlorogenic acid that fight off cell damage. And then you've got these other compounds called diterpenes that have awesome anti-inflammatory powers. It's this whole team working together that creates this incredible defense. So who's the villain the superhero team is fighting? Well, it's this process called oxidative stress. The easiest way to think about it is like rust, but on your brain cells. It's caused by this constant low-level inflammation that just slowly, quietly wears down and damages your neurons year after year. So here's the play-by-play of how coffee jumps in to stop it. Step 1, that low-level inflammation starts up. It's just a natural part of getting older, really. But then, step 2, coffee's antioxidants swoop in. They act like a fire extinguisher, putting out those little fires and neutralizing the damage. And the end result? Step 3, your neurons get shielded from all that long-term harm. It's that simple. All right, so that's the how. But you're probably thinking, okay, where's the proof? And the really big question, how much coffee do we actually need to drink to get these incredible benefits? Let's take a look at the hard evidence. Now, we're not talking about some small one-off study here. The reason scientists are so confident about this comes from these huge meta-analyses. These are studies that pull together the results from research on thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of people. And you know what? They all point to the exact same conclusion. Drinking coffee regularly is directly linked to a slower rate of brain degeneration. And after looking at all that data, those massive studies have zeroed in on what really seems to be the magic number for getting the most benefit. And that number is 3 cups a day. And get this, if you can consistently hit that 3-cup mark over the long haul, the payoff is absolutely staggering. We are talking about up to a 65% lower risk of developing these awful neurodegenerative problems. Just think about that. That is a massive, massive impact from something as simple as a daily habit. Now hold on. You don't have to hit exactly 3 cups to see a difference. Even just 1 or 2 cups a day gives you significant brain protection. But what the research really shows is that the sweet spot, the absolute peak benefit, happens right around that 3-cup mark. Okay, this next point is really, really important to understand. For people who are healthy right now, coffee is an incredible preventative tool. It's about stopping the problem before it starts. But for anyone who has already been diagnosed with one of these conditions, coffee is a supportive habit. It complements medical treatment. It absolutely does not replace it. That distinction is crucial. So let's kind of reframe how we think about this. That daily coffee habit, it's not just a morning pick-me-up, it's not just a ritual. We need to start seeing it for what it really is. A serious, long-term investment in the future health of your brain.
And that's really the beauty of it, isn't it? We all know and love the short-term effects, right? The extra energy, that sharper focus, the better mood. But the real superpower of coffee is the one we never actually feel. It's that silent, invisible, life-altering benefit that's building up over decades. Powerful, long-term protection for your brain.
And the key here, the absolute key, is making this a lifelong habit. You start in young adulthood, you stay consistent through middle age, and by doing that, you're setting yourself up to cash in on those incredible protective rewards when you're older. So look, we all plan for our financial future. We try to plan for our physical fitness. It all boils down to one simple question. What are you doing today to invest in your brain's future? Maybe, just maybe, the answer is already sitting right there in your hands.